Hey guys, I'm just gonna record a little video of some tips. I've got some notes here for me, and for you, I'll just need you to have a strap and a wall for this one. So I'm gonna give you some tips for handstands. So first I'm gonna start off with some wrist stretches. So what I'm gonna have you do is get on your hands and knees, and I'm gonna have you spread your fingers nice and wide, and just lean forward and back. And then you're going to turn your hands inward and do the same thing. So eventually we're going to make a whole circle all the way around. So to the outside. And then facing your body. This one is a little tough, so don't force it too much. And don't face plant either. And then you're going to flip your hands over onto the back and pretty much do the same. Again, this can be a little uncomfortable if you put too much pressure. So again, making a circle all the way around. Okay, and then also, your form for your fingers when you're doing a handstand is kind of what a lot of yogis call spider fingers. So you want a nice and spread, and you want a little bend in your fingers because you're going to be pressing into your fingertips. When you handstand, you're going to want the tips of your fingers to turn white pretty much because you're putting pressure in the fingertips and a little bit in the palm to kind of get a counterbalance when you're putting the pressure into the tips of your fingers. So you'll notice a lot of yogis when they handstand, you'll see a little bit of a finger wiggle trying to balance. So if you watched my previous video, I did a few hamstring stretches. So we're going to go over a few of those again. Your hamstrings are going to be used when you're kicking up into the handstand and when you're learning against a wall, when you're walking up the wall. So stretching them out. Your handy dandy strap if you can't reach. Go ahead and wrap it around your feet. And then inhale, exhale into the bend. Again, don't forget to breathe, and exhale, you can try to pull yourself down even more. And release. Go ahead and bring one foot into a triangle from your body. You're going to reach for this foot again. If you need, use the strap. Go ahead and wrap it around your foot. Inhale, exhale, and release. Baby. And then we're going to have to switch sides. Leg out, triangle, strap around the foot, inhale, exhale, and release down. All right, and next we're going to start off with downward facing dog. So this stretches your hamstrings like we're just doing and your shoulders. And your shoulders you're going to want to have them stretched a little bit so you can get a little stability in the handstand. Once you start handstanding more, you'll notice once you stretch your shoulders too much, then you end up toppling over, but we don't need to worry about that now. So let's get into downward facing. Okay, like in the beginning, in the video, I want you to be on your hands and knees, so all fours. You're gonna have your shoulder above your wrist and your hips above your knees. So this is preparing you for a downward dog. This gives you your basic stance pretty much, and once you do downward dog more, you can decide whether or not you want a wider or a smaller downward dog. So go ahead and curl your toes up, and I'm gonna have you inhale, engage your quads and your hamstrings, all right here. To lift up, leading with your hips. So inhale and exhale. And keep your head relaxed. Neck release, just stare towards your toes. And if you can't get your heels to the ground yet, it's okay if you're a little bit like this, or even if you want to get your heels to the ground, go ahead and give a little bend in the knees. You can also bicycle your heels back and forth. For a little shoulder stretch, maybe walk your hands out a little bit. And then use your arms and your shoulders to push your chest down towards the mat. Make sure to breathe here. And release. And again. And you can come on down. Alright, so before we jump into handstands and being upside down, a good thing to try to do is headstands first. So if you can already do it unbalanced, awesome. Go ahead and try to stay in a headstand for maybe 30 seconds. You want to be able, you can ensure that you can stay upside down for that long, especially when you're trying to learn the balance with handstands. If you haven't mastered the headstand yet, I would suggest waiting for the handstand. Okay, so starting up with the headstand against the wall. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to use a sheet since I'm on the linoleum and not on the carpet. Maybe if a ponytail, make it lower to the back of your head because you're going to want to put right here, right on the crown of your head. I'm going to start off with a tripod headstand. This gives you the easiest balance because you've got contact to the floor on 3 points. 1, 2, and 3. So go ahead and place your hands right by your knees. Excuse you. I'm going to bring the crown of your head to the floor. Go ahead and pop your hips up and walk your feet up as far as you can. And you can start by raising one leg and bringing the other one up. If you don't have enough core control for that, I can show you how to kick up. So that's simply just kicking your feet up. You can have any leg variation, depend on the wall, or you can stay away from the wall. If we can hold this for up to 30 seconds, that's great. And then release. So anytime you're upside down in headstand, handstand, downward facing dog, anywhere where your heart is above your head, be very careful that you don't stay upside down for too long because you can get a little dizzy, blood to your head, maybe a little loss of oxygen, and you don't want to fall over or hurt yourself. And it's important to listen to your body. Alright, so once you feel comfortable enough to attempt a handstand on the wall, I'm going to have you sit with your feet against the wall, so your legs width apart. And I want your fingertips to be right behind your butt. So go ahead and place both of them there. That's how you're going to know how far to be from the wall. So go ahead and place your feet on your mark so you can remember. I'm going to have you turn around and place your hands back where they were. And I'm going to have you walk up the wall 1 foot at a time. So here is where you're going to start. This is where you're going to feel how strong you are in your arms and shoulders, as well as if you can tolerate being upside down for long. You can go ahead and walk back down. Give yourself a little break. When you're upside down, don't forget to breathe. Breathing is really important because you're upside down and you're going to end up passing out and falling over, and we don't want that. Again, so come walk back up the wall. And after you've done that for a couple times and you feel comfortable, try taking one leg off at a time. One leg here. And back and switch. Go ahead and keep trying that a couple times. This here will show you what it feels like to be in a perfect vertical line. And go ahead and walk back down. So one thing I encourage you to do is record yourself. It's easy if you've got a phone or a camera or something, a friend's phone. Record yourself. You can really learn what your form looks like. That's how I learned, was recording myself for Instagram actually, and I started seeing my form, which was really awesome. So you notice I showed you how to handstand while you're facing the wall. So that was what that will do, is help you from not getting a banana back. What I started doing when I first learned was kicking myself against the wall. So I'm going to demonstrate what that looks like. So I would come about this far away from the wall, and I would just kick up. And see how when I have my feet against the wall, do you see that bend in my back? That's not good for your spine, and it's not correct form. So when I stopped handstanding against the wall, my handstands looked like this. And it was really hard to balance at first. And then I had to correct it once I got strong enough and I earned enough balance and flexibility to get a straight back. The next important thing to learn is learning how to fall out of the handstand once you get away from the wall. That's pretty important because, of course, you're not going to have good balance when you first learn. So one of my, pretty much the only way I fall out of a handstand is kind of like a cartwheel out. So I'll show you that. So I kick into handstand, and when I fall out, kind of looks like a cartwheel. So that's why I described it. Okay, so for the first counter stretch, I'm going to show you child's pose, which is probably one of the most universal poses of yoga, next to downward facing dog. That people who don't know yoga, the first thing they think of when they hear yoga. So go ahead and get on all fours. Inhale, and go ahead and drop yourself all the way back. Your bottom all the way down to the back of your legs. And go ahead and stretch out your arms as far as you can and rest your head onto your mat. If you need to take your knees out a little wider, that's okay too. Now what I want you to do is push this part of your arm into your mat. You'll feel that in your shoulders and in your arms. So this is like a stretch for after being on your arms for a while. All right. Next, I want you to take your right arm and bring it across your chest. Take your left arm and do an L across it and pull back. You should feel this a little bit right here and all the back of your shoulder. Don't forget to breathe and switch. I recommend you doing the hamstring and the wrist stretches that I showed you at the beginning of the video after you handstand as well. Alright, thanks for watching and tolerating me because I'm a little awkward on camera. In the description below, I've got a few answers to some questions I get pretty often on my Instagram, and family and friends who see me handstand, since I like to handstand pretty much everywhere I go. Go ahead and give this video a like, subscribe, share, and thanks for watching.